Now, if you don't think this is gloomy, dark, and not to mention disgusting, I don't know what it is, because you know the spirits, they studied people and they know who they are dealing with, and they know already that it would take much more than that to vex Marianne. She's actually finding this very funny, I think. So there is this picture that was made by Voice of Jean, putting the placenta over the face of Mary Poppin, and because of the comparison with Marianne and the thing with the placenta, Mary Poppin, and then he just did what he's doing best, and he did his videos about the disfiguration of face. That would be a disfiguration of face. You know the verse? I'm sure that you did not see this coming, right? Don't underestimate my ability to amaze you.
Oh, I'm still amazed at everything you do, Jonathan. And I'm especially amazed by the way you're able to keep on amazing me every day by continuously coming up with all these far-fetched stories and excuses that you're always throwing out there just to see what's going to stick. And I can already see that this is going to be yet another deceptive attempt at twisting the context and twisting the meanings of certain verses, all in order to try to keep your story going strong. But I must say that you really come up with some wing dingers sometimes, Jonathan, and this time is no different, I see. So I'm just going to follow along with you, Jonathan, and as you get closer to pulling off your bogus overturn, that's when we'll take a closer look, okay?
Because you never cease to be amazed with the way I come up with stuff so far-fetched. So, disfiguration of face. Moreover, when ye fast, be not as the hypocrites of a sad countenance, for they disfigure their face, that they may appear unto men to fast. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But do, when thou fastest, anoint thine head and wash thy face, that do appear not unto men to fast, but unto thee Father which is in secret, and the Father which is yet in secret shall reward thee openly. Lay not up for yourself treasure upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Don't underestimate my ability to amaze you. So, the thing about anoint the head and wash the face, well, what Voice of Jean decided to do is this. So he's putting placenta over the face. Mary who? Mary Poppin or Marianne? Moreover, when ye fast.
Wait a second here, Jonathan. I thought you were supposed to amaze me once again with a new supply of your far-fetchedness. But I gotta tell you that you really fell short on this one. And you said that it was Jesus who was telling you to use Matthew 6:16 as some type of overturn. You just gotta get your daily quota of overturns in there, don't you, Jonathan? Alright, okay, so you supplied Matthew 6, verse 16 as your response. So let's see what Jesus wanted you to tell me then. But before I start this one off, Jonathan, let me ask you an extremely important question. Now, when you told me that I was trying to physically compare Mary Ann to a placenta, and all because I used a medical clip that described a placenta and its functions as being a gory Mary Poppins, and you just took it from there with all your own blended up thoughts, and you just kept spitting out one far-fetched interpretation after another. Let me ask you, was Mary Ann fasting? And that's if you know. Was Mary Ann fasting at that time? And then my next question would be, do you know if I was fasting at that time? Now, personally, I can say that I wasn't fasting during that period of time, Jonathan. But right about now, you might be asking me, what's the big deal about whether or not Mary Ann or I were fasting or not? And my reply to you, Jonathan, would have to be that the big deal is the fact that this passage, it only applies to people who are fasting. It doesn't apply to nobody else.
Because you never cease to be amazed with the way I come up with stuff so far-fetched.
Only to the people who are fasting. So, I'll ask the question one more time for the record, Jonathan. Was either Mary Ann or myself, were we fasting at the time?
Don't underestimate my ability to amaze you.
So let's read the verse that you came back with, Jonathan, and let's all be amazed one more time. Mathew 6:16. And the header for this, it says proper fasting. Now I know that the header isn't part of the actual Bible and it was added in there, but hey, it's about fasting. Verse 16. When you fast, do not be somber like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces to show men that they are fasting. Truly, I tell you, they already have their full reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, so that your fasting will not be obvious to men, but only to your Father who is unseen. And your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you.
Why is it that I know exactly when y'all are fasting? Like, literally, Jesus said, when you fast, don't tell anyone. And not only that, he actually said, when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face so that it won't be obvious to others that you're fasting. Like, he literally said to go the extra mile so that only your Father in heaven knows that you're fasting. Then you will be rewarded for what you did in secret. Jesus said it's the hypocrites who fast and then tell everyone that they're fasting. So how come when I go to church or I go through Christians' Instagram stories, believers, when they are fasting, seem to shout it from the rooftops to make sure that everyone knows they're fasting? Why is that? Like, simply just need to follow Jesus' words.
Are you not amazed? How Jesus Christ, he planned behind your back?
No, Jonathan, actually I wasn't amazed in the slightest. You tried shoving a false verse down everybody's throat yet again, and it's as plain as the nose on your face that that's what you were doing. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Jonathan, but aren't you the nose? I mean, you're trying to use a verse that's describing the proper way that you're supposed to fast, and that you're not supposed to be walking around all day trying to make sure that other people are going to see you acting out some part by letting themselves become all disheveled looking and then disfiguring their face with that, oh, I'm so hungry grimace, just so they'll be able to tell somebody that they were doing all of this for the Lord. But if they do it that way, that right there is their reward. Their 15 minutes of fame, so-called. That's what they just received. But to fulfill this verse that you gave us, Jonathan, I mean, you're supposed to keep yourself kempt and make sure to keep it between you and the Father. So don't announce it to everybody, and he's going to reward you more than you'll ever know. And I don't think that you're going to believe this, Jonathan, but I think that we owe John Quinton Wise a big thank you for his comment about disfiguring Mary Ann's picture by painting it over until it became unrecognizable. Because that's the actual context that you should be using right here.
J10, Q17, W23, altogether Dave equal 50. Hi Jonathan, it's quite intriguing why your cousin disfigured her painting of the lion. But also you said that it was you in the painting and the part that she disfigured was the part where you appeared in it. Don't underestimate my ability to amaze you. So the thing about anointing head and wash the face, well, what Voice of Jane decided to do is this. So he's putting placenta over the face. Mary who? Mary Poppin or Mary Ann?
Mary Ann painted over her painting and disfigured it in the very same way that I disfigured poor Mary Poppins by plopping a big old placenta on her face. And that leads me right back around to question one again. Was Mary Ann fasting when all this disfiguring was happening? I mean, that is if you know.
Marianne, she was able now to see this confrontation because it was delayed, because if it would have happened back then, she would not have been seeing it. Checkmate.